relics from the past, French toast, and it's CD Redemption Week. Welcome to the Unlimited Supply Podcast, your daily music business TLDR in your ear, powered by Brute Force Research and brought to you by No Disc, helping music technology and finance companies navigate the music industry, and partnered with Digital Music News. It's June 29th, 2026. I'm Lars Murray. It's Monday, where we talk about what happened over the weekend and what is on deck for this week. Over the weekend, the managed decline over at iHeart took another step in its long march. At the end of the week, the company announced layoffs across the country, including radio hosts and presumably some sales execs, as it cited its need to sell faster in an increasingly difficult ad environment. Interestingly, they also cited the launch of the Iran war as a contributing factor affecting ad spend negatively, which, if true, is refreshingly honest. Best wishes for those affected. Welcome to the creator economy jungle. Elizabeth Dilts Marshall has the story over at Billboard. The toasty is a staple of Dutch tourist food, and moving a bit south, we've all heard of French toast. Well, right now Europe is getting toasted literally by a massive heat wave, and that has caused festival cancellations in the Netherlands. That would be the DEF CON 1 festival, and in France, the Solidays festival, aka Pain Perdu. I just made a bad joke in French there. It's tempting to ask if they've never heard of Coachella over there, but to be fair, it's even hotter than Coachella over there right now. The temperature's topping 100 Fahrenheit or whatever that is in Celsius without the benefit of the desert dryness of Coachella. Nature hates us, and maybe with good reason. Between Bonnaroo and this kind of thing, how long do you think it's going to be until festival season shifts from June to September? Ariel KIng had the story over at Digital Music News. Ashley also reported that Madonna, on the other hand, appears to love nature. In an article in Vogue Italia, Madonna spoke about AI and how her creative process involves turning off devices and getting out into nature and removing other stimuli in order to create, which is interesting coming from an artist whose creative process was forged in the grimy East Village of the late 70s and early 80s. But we'll give Madge the benefit of the doubt that she has evolved and is not simply getting out under the clouds to yell at them. And we've talked about two relics of the past already, iHeart Media and Madonna, so why not a third? Vinyl. Warner Music has a lot of irons in a lot of different fires right now, and the latest one is an initiative to recycle vinyl. Why would they be doing this? Well, first of all, vinyl is fucking expensive. Second of all, recycled vinyl is somewhat greener than virgin vinyl. Recycled vinyl is nothing new going back to the olden days. What is fairly new is this initiative targeting post-consumer vinyl, i.e. vinyl that actually got bought rather than unsold units taking up valuable shelf space at indie retail. Warner teamed up with a company called Virterras Materials and an undisclosed group of indie retailers to collect unwanted vinyl, presumably after the indies have cherry-picked the good stuff for resale. Looking at the week ahead, there's really nothing interesting going on with industry events, so I'm declaring this CD Redemption Week. At Music Biz this year, I heard a lot from physical goods folks that CDs were resurgent. So as Warner is figuring out how to recycle vinyl, a lot of folks are starting to revisit the advantages of that other relic of a bygone era, the CD. After all, CDs supplanted vinyl for a reason. They are a well-designed and sturdy technology. As you may know, I got my career start at Rykodisc, the first CD-only label back in the day, so I have some experience with and affection for the little silver discs. Our Axegrinders today and tomorrow, Bill Lambusta and Brian Erickson, do too. And they're a lot younger than me, so this is not just me out there in a field with Madonna yelling at a cloud. Bill and Brian are also podcast vets. They host the Great Albums podcast. It's a monthly music commentary show. They just launched their first episode after a 7-year hiatus on June 1st, covering Vampire Weekend's self-titled debut. Welcome back to the creator economy jungle, guys. Today and tomorrow, Bill and Brian will explain why CDs should be taken seriously in 2026. We'll start with Bill.
I'm Bill Lambusta, and this is my axe to grind. The idea that the, quote, warm analog sound of vinyl records is inherently superior to the, quote, cold digital audio produced by a CD is demonstrably false. Rather, they're simply different media that both introduce different flaws to audio. Most people probably couldn't tell the difference, or they don't care, and it really comes down to preference. It's sometimes said that analog is real and digital is fake, but it's all fake. And it's all a trick by technology to get us to hear things in a certain way that our brains will enjoy. The analog versus digital argument is almost nonsensical in today's world. For modern recordings, digital and analog equipment is used in tandem to create the best sound possible. Digital instruments recorded to tape, analog compressors running into Pro Tools, virtual emulation working at a high standard, warm tape compression added by software, high sample rates, reducing digital flaws. It all begs the question, is it really analog versus digital when we talk vinyl or CD? Pretty much no. Really, most of the flaws inherent to either media can be compensated for by a good mastering engineer. The final product of both will be great when done right. However, for me personally, I don't want to hear pops and hisses, and I prefer the reliable recreation of audio from a CD. Additionally, I like that the chance of a damaged item right out of the package is reduced with a CD. I purchase vinyl as a means of supporting my favorite bands on indie labels. However, these records often arrive warped or scratched, even fresh from the sleeve. Probably about 60% or more of my vinyl records have a flaw that diminishes at least one song's listening experience. Sometimes people argue that you don't get the same tactile experience with a CD that you would with vinyl, but for me, I do. So, let me enjoy what I enjoy, and you can enjoy your pops, hisses, and warbly sounds all you like. I'm Bill Lambusta, and that's my axe to grind.
Thank you, Bill. Come back tomorrow for part 2 with Brian Erickson. And that's Monday. A few music folks celebrating birthdays this week include old friends and colleagues, ace manager Andrea Troolin, who A&R'd a couple of CDs in her day, festival marketing whiz Margaret Jacobi, Matt Kroepel, as Leonard Skinner put it, working for MCA, Pablo Douzouglou, heading up marketing at Beggars, and PPL chairman and software entrepreneur Richard James Burgess. Support for Unlimited Supply is provided by you, our listeners. If you want to join the few, the proud, the elite supporters of Unlimited Supply and receive your Unlimited Supply Merit Badge trucker hat as a symbol of your sophistication, there's a link in the show notes and on our website at unlimitedsupplypod.com. If you like what you hear, please hit that follow button wherever you get your pods. I live for your praise and encouragement, but it really helps if you share that praise as a rating and or a review on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or Spotify, and tell a friend or three. And now we're on Substack, if that floats your boat. It sure floats mine. Links are in the show notes, but you can also visit unlimitedsupplypod.com to sign up for our newsletter, to tell us what you think about the show, to suggest feature ideas, to feed us info, to feed us lunch, to call us out on our dubious assertions, and to tell us what we're missing out on. I'm Lars Murray, and remember, in this business, no conflict means no interest.